What's up guys, I'm back once again to show you some of the hot mods of the week, and in this week's episode we, of course, have a few brand new weapon mods, as well as a few sound replacers for different weapon mods. But to kick things off, we have another pine forest mod, and just like any other forest mod, what this is going to do is add several trees into the Commonwealth to create a more dense pine forest environment. Now this is by no means the first tree mod that we've taken a look at on this channel, but very quickly this one has become one of my favourites. So if you're looking to transform your game into a pine forest adventure, then maybe this mod is worth a download. And of course, this week's weapon mod is the double barrel rifle, and you can acquire this weapon by opening up the console and typing in help double 4 WEAP. Here you will find the weapon's ID code, and by typing player.additem and the ID code, you will get your hands on the weapon. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 7 receivers, 3 barrels, 2 stocks, 6 sights, 5 damage options, 3 wood colours, 2 ammo types, and finally 2 firing modes. Now you might be wondering, why do I need a double barrel shotgun mod when in the game there already exists a double barrel shotgun? Well, this is quite simple. You've already sunk hundreds upon hundreds of hours into Fallout 4 and you're already bored of the standard double barrel shotgun. So you need something new and yet also familiar, and that's where this weapon mod comes in. Also, not to mention, this weapon looks significantly better than the one in the base game. Now the next mod I have for you is the Glock 19X sound replacer, and of course this is what that's going to sound like. But to be more specific, what this mod is actually going to do is replace the sound of the Glock 19 with the sound of the Glock from CSGO. But this is not the only sound replacer mod that we're going to be taking a look at in today's episode, because we also have the AKM Complex Gunshot sound replacer, and of course this is what that's going to sound like. But to be more specific, what this mod is actually going to do is replace the firing sound for the AKM with the sound of the AK-47 from CSGO. But anyway, I think we've spent enough time listening to me fire off weapons, so let's move on to the next mod. And the second weapon mod for this week's episode is the Escape from Boston Desert Tech SRSA2, and you can acquire this weapon by heading to a chem station. Here you can craft the weapon under the Escape from Boston section for a small amount of crafting materials and requiring Blacksmith 3. Here you'll also be able to craft the brand new ammo type, the .338, for again a small amount of crafting materials and requiring Blacksmith 2. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 5 stocks, 3 magazines, 11 lower rail attachments, another 11 right side attachments, 2 suppressors, 5 muzzle brakes, another 11 left side attachments, 6 top rail attachments, 5 barrels, 4 handguards, an insane 23 sights, and finally 8 damage options to balance the weapon. Now, as we've already seen, this weapon can be crafted at a chem station, or if you get lucky, you could find one on a gunner after level 35. But the mod author warns that the former is not cheap, so if you're lazy or broke, then it's recommended that you use console commands. And this week's armour mod is the Adam Jensen MD armour. The armour worn by, of course, Adam Jensen from DEUS EX Mankind Divided. And you can acquire this armour by heading to the bottom of the Federal Surveillance Centre in the Glowing Sea. Here you will find the 2 armour pieces inside of a small container. Or alternatively, you can head to a chem station and look under the augmentation section. Here you'll be able to craft the 2 armour pieces for a small amount of crafting materials and requiring armour 2 and science 2. And as for upgrades, as you can see here, the body has a very wide variety of different upgrades, including upgrades for the different limbs, a choice of ballistic weave, stealth cloak, reduced fall damage, and some upgrades influenced by the power armor upgrades. And the optics are going to have a choice of whether or not to highlight living targets. Now, after looking at some of the upgrades for this armor, you might argue that this armor is a bit overpowered, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. All I'm saying is, you're probably not going to be getting to the glowing sea at too low of a level, or to have the necessary perk requirements either. Also, if there is one specific upgrade that you find to be too overpowered, then simply don't upgrade that. Then you can have fun with this armor until your heart's content. Personally, I quite enjoy the increased jump height, movement speed, health regen, no fall damage, and so on and so on. It's kind of like being in a more mobile power armor suit. But anyway, let's move on to the next mod. And the final weapon mod for this week's episode is the Modern Warfare Kilo 141, and you can acquire this weapon from a chem station under the Kilo 141 section for a small amount of crafting materials, including an assault rifle and no perks. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 1 receiver, 4 barrels, an impressive 16 sights, 8 muzzles, 7 lasers, 3 bipods, 5 lower rail attachments, 6 stocks, 7 mags, 4 barrels, 4 camos, 6 damage options to balance the weapon, and finally 11 different skins. Now this weapon is going to have a couple of dependencies. Firstly, you're going to require the SIG MCX that we took a look at a few weeks ago. You're also going to require tactical reload and see-through scopes. And in all fairness, I'm pretty sure that most people already have those last 2 mods installed, so you really only need to install the SIG MCX to get this mod to work. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for this mod, and the video for that matter. I hope you all enjoyed the mods here today, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you all in the next video.